program in English in which we give you a full dose of sports news, interviews, commentaries, reports in Cameroon, Africa, and the world. Sports Hour is here to start on Well FM 88.4 stereo.
Hello, midweek greetings, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome once more for another Wednesday edition of the program Sports Hour, which comes up every Wednesdays on Reality 8.4 FM to keep you all updated around the world of sports. Coming up today, we are going to look at the athleticism landscape in Cameroon. Plus, we are going to feature football, wherein we'll talk the recent 2025 Cameroon Ballon d'Or award, and of course look at Cameroon's preparation for the upcoming Women's African Cup of Nations, which is less than 15 days away to be staged in Morocco. This package and several others will make up what we are going to discuss on today's edition of the program Sports Hour with our experts who are currently in the studio. To ensure that we have a successful program on the technical dashboard, it is Salomon Esana ensuring that you get us 5 on 5 on the cameras for our various social media handles, notably on YouTube, labeled Royal FM Cameroon. We have Brian Bida. Production assistance is coming in from Glory Ngange. Editorial coaching we are getting from Abel Bella Samari. Coordination from the station's manager Roger Kiek, and for general supervision, the Reverend Pastor Bisai Emmanuel Noel. My name is Biwa Brian and I will be your host. Do not go away as I treat you to this gospel interlude.
Lord Jesus, oh Lord Jesus, the King of Glory. My answer is yes, sir, yes, sir. Whatever you say, dependable God. Oh, Gigi, I'm sitting syndrome. Have your way, have your way. My champion defender, my hope is in you, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, the King of Glory. My answer is yes, sir. Yes, sir. Forever the same, unchangeable. Yes, sir. Oh God. Yes, oh, Gigi, I'm sitting syndrome. Have your way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, my champion defender, my hope is in you, sir.
Save me. I'm tired of hustling and struggling in the midst of your plenty. Oh.
So here I am in total surrender. Use my life like one of your many wonders, Lord.
Make me a sign to my generation. Make my life a story of your glory.
Whatever
Before getting to today's edition of the program, we would take out some time to talk about the mutual assistance and the solidarity program ASO, which is an initiative that has been brought at the disposal of many to elevate you from the shackles of poverty, to help you in your daily endeavors. It has done so in the previous editions. We are currently in the 6th edition. 5 editions have come and passed, and a lot of persons have benefited from the goodness of the mutual assistance and the solidarity program. So I know you must be asking yourself the big question: what are some of the things you stand to benefit from this initiative? They have been grouped into 3 different categories. You have cash prizes, you have material prizes, as well as assistance that you stand to benefit from the mutual assistance and the solidarity program MASO. Beginning with the cash prizes, we have cash prizes that are within the bracket of 100,000 CFA francs right through to 2 million CFA francs, which is to say we have packets 100,000 CFA francs, 500,000 CFA francs, 1 million, 2 million, 250,000 CFA francs. Those are the brackets from 100,000 CFA francs to 2 million CFA francs. These are sums of money that you can use to start up a business, depending on whichsoever of these cash prizes you benefit from. You can use it to expand your business. You can use it to finance any of your projects. We know a lot of persons currently or now have projects, but then the finances are not forthcoming, and so it is most at times difficult to realize some of these projects because the financing or the finances are nowhere to be found. With the mutual assistance, you stand an opportunity to have these finances. You can equally use it to further your education, to finance your education. We do know that education is something that is very important in our contemporary society nowadays. So away from the cash prizes that I've just highlighted, we call have material prizes. We have villa houses, which is one of the most outstanding things you stand to benefit from the mutual assistance. In the previous editions, we've had persons who have become house owners just because they registered for the MASO program. You stand an opportunity to win a villa house. Aside from that, we call have vehicles, that is taxis, personal vehicles, tricycles, all of which you can decide to put into commercial use, and at the end of the day, it brings returns on your investment. It's able to do reinjection and bring you returns on your investment. Those are the things you stand to benefit. That is what I'm talking about, the material prices. Now, going to the assistance, we have various sort of assistance. I'll begin with the health assistance, which is one of the most important. We all know that health is one of the most important thing of every human being's life, and so with MASO, you stand to benefit health assistance at the Mami Hospital Complex, which is located at Nouvelle Road, Kwabang. Once you're there, just because you've registered for the mutual assistance, you are going to have a percentage cut on all your bills. Now, this percentage cut doesn't only apply to you who has registered for the mutual assistance. It is equally going to apply to a few of your friends or family members they are going to select. But then there is a quota that it will be set by the organizers. Once you get there, you are going to be enlightened on the quota, that is the number of persons that can benefit from this percentage cut to on your bills at the Mami Hospital Complex. Aside from this, the other assistance include legal assistance. There's a legal team that the MASO has put together to help you in your legal battles. Do you have any thing in the legal field that you do not know how to go about it? Probably you want to seal some legal properties, or you may want to seal some properties legally, but you do not know how to go about it. With the MASO, the legal team can help you to go through this process. We call it have accompanying. The mutual assistance can accompany you when you are getting married as a mutualist or when you are bereaved. But now all this depends on a certain level of seniority. It is not just for debutants, not just for those who have registered those who have registered now. The good thing here is that with all the assistance that I've listed, like the health assistance and all that, you can start benefiting from this assistance even before the raffle draws. That is to say, the mutual assistance has a raffle draw ceremony. In the past, we used to hold the last edition we held the raffle draws at the Horaires Sports Stadium, but this year it is going to be in Kwabang. It is not going to be like in the previous editions where everybody gathered at the Horaires Sports Stadium, the Ahmadu Ahijo Stadium, for the raffle draws. This time it is going to be in Kwabang at the headquarters. That is where the draws are going to be done, and then everybody is going to see. Usually one of the things about the mutual assistance is the transparency. It is done in such a way everybody sees how it is done. So those are the things that you stand to benefit from this initiative. Now, how do you get yourself enrolled for this initiative? You get over to any of the group Renapro Finance S agencies. There are a lot of them in Yaoundé and even out of Yaoundé. You get to any of them to get yourself registered. You can equally come to Royal FM. Royal FM is at Sapeur Mimboman, what we call in English the Firefighters Brigade. Once you get there, ask around for Royal FM, or better still, just look around. You would see a story building with a placard labeled Royal FM. You come there and then they can get you through the registration process, and you equally have registry points that have been installed across the city of Yaoundé by the organizers to ease registration, meaning that you do not need to walk for a long distance to look for a Renapro agency to get yourself registered. There are some points that have been set up in the city of Yaoundé, verified that you can register. We have one of them around Rond-Point Damas. There we have Therese Veronique, who answers the phone number 696-0933-02, 696-0933-02, 696-0933-02. We have another one, a kiosk around Sam Escalier at the Carrefour. To get to the person, the operator of that kiosk, you can call the number 674-322294, 674-322294, 674-322294. You equally have a mobile, someone who is very mobile, who can equally register into this initiative. You can get to the person through the number 699-356031, 699-356031. Now, this person doesn't have a fixed location. The person is mobile and answers the name. It is Madame Bebga Jeanette. So she answers the number 699-356031. You can get to any of these numbers to get yourself enrolled for this initiative. Or better still, you come to Royal FM like I highlighted. So for those who want to know more about registration, recall that after you've gone through the registration process, you need to do a contribution of 26,000 CFA francs. The good thing is that this 26,000, you must not give the entirety of the money at a go. So you can decide to split it into installments that will favor you. You want to pay on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis. It all depends on you which one is more flexible and more comfortable for you. But at the end of the day, you must be able to finish your contribution, the 26,000 CFA francs in its entirety, before the deadline that has been set in for the month of June. That's June 29. So for those who have been registering in installments, I just encourage you to remain committed to your contributions and ensure that before the deadline, you've given the entirety of that 26,000 CFA francs to be able to reap off all the benefits that this initiative brings at your disposal.
Renapro offre MASO. Ils sont tous devenus propriétaires de villas à partir de 100 francs CFA seulement. Acte 1.
Je m'appelle Makoun Chopsessé. J'ai gagné une belle maison. Je dis merci à Masso. Je ne m'attendais pas à gagner une maison. Quand on m'a dit, je ne croyais même pas.
Acte 2.
Ebodine Chama Joséphine, infirmière.
Je suis là, je suis propriétaire d'une villa. Je suis vraiment content.
Acte 3.
Bibagwe Kuma Jimmy.
Moi-même, je n'y croyais pas. Aller souscrire, c'est de la réalité. J'ai souscrit 26 500 francs. Aujourd'hui, Je vais recevoir la clé
d'une villa.
Acte 4.
Chami Jacques, technicien en automobile.
C'est une grande joie immense qui m'anime en ce moment parce que avec 26 000 francs, que je ne croyais pas, je me retrouve propriétaire d'une villa.
Acte 5.
Moi, c'est Kamje, épouse Mangwa. La surprise a été très grande. Le Seigneur est merveilleux. Il m'a offert une maison.
Qui sera le prochain bénéficiaire? À la Masso, vivons simplement nos valeurs africaines. Renaproof offers Masso.
They all became proud owners of luxurious villas, starting with just 100 francs CFA. Act 1.
I am called Makunchop Cecile. I want a very beautiful house. I say thank you to Maso. When they told me, I did not even believe.
Act 2.
Ebodin Chama Josephine.
Here I am. I am an owner of a villa house. I am truly happy.
Act 3.
Bibagwe Kuma Jimmy.
Even I didn't believe it. Subscribing is a reality. I subscribed with 26,000 CFA francs. Today, I am receiving the keys to a villa house.
Act 4.
Chami Jacques.
It's a great and immense joy that fills me right now because with 26,000 CFA francs, which I didn't believe, I find myself the owner of a villa house.
Act 5.
I am Kamje Epoze Mangwa. The surprise was very big. The Lord is wonderful. He offered me a house.
Who will be the next beneficiary? At Maso, we simply live our African values.
Satisfaction, personal satisfaction because the season is not easy. I have effective who are not mature, no experience, but I talk with them and then I learn them my politics, my vision of football, and then they understand, and then in the field they give it back. So I'm happy.
Being promoted from Young Sport, PWG, and to play now in one of the best teams in town, Young Cotton Sport, shows that the guy has been proving excellence from one stage to the other, and he is the brain behind all the victories of his team. Did a lot for his team to have been Cameroon champion, but in the season this far, it's not the same. Bosco has been consistent and constant in his performance.
Well, Cotton Sport is my new team, and we have an objective in place this season is to win the cup, the champion of Cameroon, and why not the Cup of Cameroon?
To be true and candid, this award she did not deserve it.
Oh.
She does not, because this season again she will be the revelation.
This season?
This season.
Okay.
And that's why I will say, I will tell the girls that you see it is very important to have a good communicator.
They should continue to celebrate excellence because it's only through excellence that people can showcase their prowess, what they are made of. And celebrating Ballon d'Or is something that has been long in Cameroon, but today, this 10th edition of it shows that once excellence is celebrated, many more victories will come from Cameroon. And we hope that with the president of the federation and the minister of sport and physical education celebrating hand in hand sports excellence.
The problem is not the next year's Ballon d'Or, is when he will leave. Are we sure to have Ballon d'Ors again?
Good afternoon once more, Radio Faithfuls. Signing in is Sports Hour. Like I earlier highlighted, today we are going to have a couple of things to look at. We are going to do an overview of the athletics landscape in Cameroon. We're going to talk a couple of topics in athletics. with our expert here in the studio. We're going to feature football in today's edition of the program. So, joining me for today's edition of the program, I have Mr. Chamake Ngape, who is coordinator of sports in SWA, the University of SWA. Equally, he's a coach, athletics coach. He has taken an appointment with us here at Royal FM today on sports. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for coming for the program today.
Hello, Brian. Thank you for having me on your prestigious radio program. Happy to be here on set.
Indeed, I just hope that a lot of persons, a lot of people in Cameroon believe that sports is football. Like when you start talking about sports, the very first thing that comes to someone's mind is football. If the person wants to drift a little, he's going to go basketball, handball, and so on before athletics. But now, I'm just hoping that with you here today, a lot of persons are going to understand a lot of things about athletics. Today. So definitely, I'm hoping to have a good exchange with you on board today's edition of the program. And just by side, we equally have with me Studio Rekula. He's coming in for the second time. My guy Jonas. Good afternoon. It is nice to have you on the program today. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Brian. Good afternoon to all your dear auditors. It's another pleasure for me to share this panel today with you. As usual, as you said, it's my second time to be here, and
I hope you enjoyed your first time.
I really enjoyed. If not,
I'm hoping that you will enjoy the second time more than you did the first time.
That's also what I wish. In fact, I really enjoy. If that wasn't the case, I don't think I would have been here today. But I was really excited to be here, and by the grace of God, today I am still here. So I just wish that today we're still going to talk about more sport, more of sport. And as you said, it's a good thing for us to have Mr. Chamake today, because in Cameroon we mainly think that sport is football. Yeah. So talking about athleticism today is going to bring something new on the table. Not very new, but something not usual to Cameroonians on the table.
Okay, so Mr. Chamake, I would like to start you. Let's get the program started with athletics. Now, we are made to understand that athletics is not like football. When we say football, it involves just kicking the ball. In athletics, we'll say athletics, it is definitely, I think, is an umbrella. It embodies many disciplines. I don't know if I should put it that way, because we always see high jump and all that. Is that?
Yeah, actually, we start by saying, just like you said, athletics is usually defined as the mother of all sporting disciplines, because all the different abilities you find in athletics is being practiced in the different disciplines. You jump, you work, you run, you throw, anyway.
And now they are talking about it, I think it makes sense, because even in football you jump, which is athletics. Before these guys even play, they have to do some kind of warm-up running. And all.
Yeah, they have to get the strength conditioning, which is the base in athletics. And athletics is definitely the most accessible sporting disciplines, because it's part of the daily physical display of every human being. If you see even the youngsters around the corner, they run around, the throws, they jump from one gutter when they're going back home. And for what people don't know, athletics is that only discipline that's ever put Cameroon at the top of the biggest sports event, sports jamboree in the world, which is the Olympic Games. Remember Francois Bango, who got 2 gold medals. Yeah, that was only in athletics. And I would say I don't want to say the other events are not great, but some sportsmen or sportwomen maybe relying on other disciplines where they could better excel in athletics. I think it's a good thing to think about athletics, to think about investing or vulgarizing this event, so that people should know that they can actually excel.
Now, before we go any further, I want to ask something. Now, in the other sports we are used to, handball, basketball, football, it is something like talent. Like you have the talent to play football, you have the talent to play basketball, and so on. With athletics, is it the same thing? Like, do you need talent to pick up any field in athletics?
Yes, that's sure. And I think athletics is a broad domain of practice. And just like you mentioned, in athletics you have different disciplines under which you have several events. Yeah, so no matter with what talent you've been gifted by God, you can actually get your own position in athletics. If you are very strong, like got the stamina, you can go for middle distance and distance range. We had the mountain race recently in Boyer. If you can have other sprinting events, long sprint and short sprint, for those who are gifted with natural fast twist muscles, and you can have, for throwers, those who got agility and that capacity, and even jumpers. You see how welcoming athletics can be in terms of talent.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, that's
now you mentioned the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. That is one of the most prominent. We placed down the athletics as well, right?
Yes.
Now the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope.
Yeah, of course, because in athletics you have race events, and you have mountain events, out of track. Because you have track and field events, and you have out of track and field events, which are the race events like the middle distance, the marathon, semi-marathon, the marathon, and the mountain events.
Now, my question is this. Now, that is one of the most gloomy sports competition we have in Cameroon, athletics competition we have in Cameroon, the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. It brings people from beyond Cameroon, from across the world, as you said. Now, are there any possibilities that we can transition some of these giants? I mean, we've had people climb there and conquer the race, and can we transition them into marathoners, like these ones who do the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and so on? Or that one is just their specialty, it's just climbing the hill?
Yeah, you rightly said. In athletics, like I said, every human being is being gifted with a particular talent. And so naturally, from your physiological being, your physical, anatomical, or whatever, you have where you can excel. And usually most of these mountain races, you see them doing the marathon, because almost close to the same distance they have to cover. And just to remind you that Mount Cameroon race is the toughest race we ever had, the mountain race across the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want this opportunity to me to appreciate those who go up the mountain. So people just think of them climbing the mountain. You have a couple of kilometers going upstream before you get to the mountain climbing. And I mean, the landscape is just, you need to visit. So transitioning, I mean, you just need to do a test to see those that are gifted in these road events, and that those that are maybe better for maybe middle distances that can better orientate you. So it's very important, the base, when you get detection. You spoke about detection. That's the key in athletics. When you get the talent, you follow somebody, you can have your coaching eye just from the physical appearance, or you can go down doing some set of tests that can better orientate you where the athlete is better gifted or can excel.
Now, in this athletics, I know we first of all highlighted that it is not as popular as other disciplines, but of course we have some of these athletes that are popular, and I think that those are the athletes that are even making Cameroonians to be kind of interest. That I remember during the last Olympic Games, Emmanuel Esime, he's just known as the fastest man in Cameroon. And in a way, he tries to pull out the crowd to support athletics, because I mean, he has established himself as the fastest man in Cameroon, sometimes fastest man in Africa too, as some people would always say. Now, are there any possibilities? Are there any ways? Because I don't know. I feel like for a long time now, Cameroon is hoping on him. If we are going on big competitions like that, the world championships or whatsoever competitions, the hope is usually on Emmanuel Esime. Are there any hopes of getting anybody at that level? Or at least, do you even know how Emmanuel Esime did to reach that level? Maybe you start from there. That is, if you know how he managed to reach the level, the level where he is now.
You're asking a very, very important question, and it's a trap in which we are almost falling. Because Emmanuel Esime today is almost 33, 24, and you have to count, by the grace of God, you may have mostly 2 Olympics after, or if he has to go to the 2028 in Los Angeles, and maybe last one where you'll be almost 40, at the evening of his career. So who is coming next? You see, how do we get the Emmanuel? So we don't have a well-established detection system in Cameroon. And that's the trap in which we may be falling. Because if there's no Emmanuel today, that's not my wish. If it's not okay, if it's not on the top of his shape, what becomes of Cameroon? And that's what happened with Françoise Bango. After she left, we had a great gap between getting another Semi. Whereas Cameroon is gifted with, I will just mention the different sporting events. And in Cameroon, the way God has created human beings in Cameroon, you have every region in Cameroon where we can have a product of practitioners of each of these disciplines. In the north, you see usually they have the great stamina. We can establish a detection and tracing center there. We have mostly people from the northwest. You saw the Racing Mount Cameroon, and for the past maybe 3 editions, all the podiums are time from the southwest. Why don't we think these are regions in Cameroon that are very high from the sea levels? So these are some of the determinants. Think about Kenya. Why did they win? They say the higher you go, the less you have the oxygen. So for them, it's something important that they have. So we can think of this establishing a great detection system so that we can have a pipeline from where we detect the athlete, from where they get, and from where. So it should be tracked. The athlete should be tracked. Emmanuel Seme wasn't tracked. His first edition, maybe you may not know, was at the Bamenda 2027 University Games. That's when he made his first games. He was already by then in high school, maybe more than 24, 22. 2017, by the way, thank you. 2017 in Bamenda. And by then he went to the final, he was even fit or fourth. I remember my athlete in the 100 meter, I defeated him. Kwame Raymond was the king of the game by that time. So we never knew of any Samuel Emmanuel Seme. So there's nothing established that could pick those added out or maybe accompany them. So the system is almost, I'm not saying the federation is doing, federation is a perfect job, they're doing a great job, but they need more support, we need a more systematic, work put into place so that we can have that.
Now, I would like to go in the same light you are taking me, but before that, this question just came into my mind. You made mention of the age factor. What if we do not have the Emmanuel? Now, in disciplines like football, we know that once you started attaining a certain age, you're already going towards the end of your career. I mean, once you are in your late 30s and so on, it is almost ending. Do you have any brackets, like what are the age brackets with which athletes are more performant? And at what age we already start expecting that an athlete is already ending his career in athletics?
Well, I will first say we don't have to limit human beings.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. We have late boomers. You have people when they get old, when they reach their peak.
Yes, that's true.
So you just take every factor into consideration, first of all. Yeah. So there's the surrounding things that we need to consider. Okay. Some are like we usually call them anticipated talent. So very early they start being talented. If you don't keep them at the end, when they grow, they may produce some performances. You say, okay, later they may be better, but they just drop a bit, they be stagnant. Yeah. But technically speaking, yes, an athlete has to between his late U20, like 16, 20 till the 32. Yeah. That's why they say the high level sport, the high level length of sport is very short. Very short. I mean, when you say high level, it means when you start producing top performances, not when you join track. Because when you join track, there's a roll time for you to be trained till you start producing high level performances. And if you see, we are speaking about just taking the case of Emmanuel Seme or Linda Agunu, which is also an Olympian. I trained her, I got her 24. Today she's 33. So from 20, I wouldn't say she had a high-level career from the 24 to the 33 years ago. It's about 4 years later that she started grooming, excelling to high-level sports. So she's about 6 years, So this is a timeline we need to take into consideration. Yeah. So you getting 20 years is pretty late. You may be surprised. So it's good we start putting the system in athletics just as it's been done in football. It's true we have kids athletics. It's a system that's been established by the federation, kids for the younger ones. But we don't see the follow-up, like I said, the pipeline. Most of the university, the best athletes in university, we get them to the university. Those who saw the FENASCO, they disappear after the FENASCO. What becomes of them?
They're not tracking them.
They're not tracking, just like I said. So it's important to have a well-established system.
Now, we have already established, or we are establishing that the detection gear is faulty. Yeah. So we are unable to have generations. We have one generation is keeps before other generations come. Like now we have Esime. After a very long time of waiting, we got Esime. We do not know who we are going to get after Esime, but as of now, we've never started seeing anybody who can say can be the next Esime. Now, I would want to ask it because I know from background knowledge that you equally have a club that you run in athletics. You tell me about your club. Now, what are some of the things you equally do? Because they always say to fix something you can do at your individual level. You start at your individual level and maybe somehow it's going to grow seeds. The seeds are going to grow and so on. So now how do you do it in your club in terms of detection to ensure that you get it right and then we get those top performance athletes?
Okay, thank you very much for giving the opportunity to speak about my club. I just want to mention that it's not that it's totally blank behind Isemi, just that we are laying so much emphasis on him.
Okay.
We have coming athlete like Ibrahima, who almost had the opportunity to go to World Champ, but financial constraints, the government said they have the money, because achieving 3 fair performances, the 100 meters, 200 and 400 meters for youngsters of 19 years old. Maybe the guys in the state, everyone was surprised in Jamaica, we know them about track. So we just need to give them help, assistance, and support, just like the ESL system is this great program from former Cameroonian athletes in the USA and some of here in Cameroon. Yeah, to come back to the excellent question, I feel like comfortable asking this question about my club. The club is Athlete in Action, AIA. Athlete in Action.
Athlete Action.
Thank you. It's a Christian sports movement. It has a headquarters in Ohio State in the United States. Our vision is making movement of multiplying disciples everywhere in sports and through sports. So we want to help athletes be balanced, body, mind, and spirit. Yeah. So make them understand that we value them. We first of all help them know that their talent is they need to praise God, worship God with their talent.
Very
so they need to be excellent because they are serving an excellent God.
And I feel like this is bringing something new on the table. It's not something that is seen. I don't think I've ever heard of it before.
Common.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So we need to make them understand. I know if you serving God with your talent, you won't cheat. You will respect the rules. And you work hard. And you know your body, when believe, will make them understand their body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So it doesn't belong to them actually. So when you're going to practice, you deal with your body with audience one. The audience one of our principles to make you understand as you're practicing, you're not seeing your coach, your teammate, you're seeing God being seated there at the grandstand. The same applies when you go for competition. So we believe that victory goes beyond competition. That's we don't value them according to what they produce on the track, but we want them to excel to the best of their potentials. And we also help them be balanced in the society. So we put them program for those, most of these youngsters. What is happening now with the youth. A lot of very bad things being around. So we help them, assist them to know how they can deal with their single life, how they can get married, or
so it be the extends. I think I like that fact. It extends just beyond the sports.
Of course, because at times you may be dealing with some people when you meet an athlete on the track. You don't know what he's going through.
That's
you don't know
true.
What's around.
And in a way, it can equally affect them.
Correct. If it affects just a lot.
Pour des déplacements en toute sécurité avec le soutien de MTN, le ministère des Transports vous recommande de voyager à bord des bus équipés des caméras Iman Driver. Pour plus d'infos, appelez le 80 98.
We are back, Mr. Chamake. We are back. So now we were talking about there at your academy is not just about looking at the athletes sport-wise. You call it look at them too, social life in a way. Because it affects somehow social life always come around to affect the player psychology,
the performance. Yes, and that's one of, like I was saying, one of the weaknesses you have in Africa, and Cameroon in particular, the psychological part of the athlete. We say, usually when you see an athlete, especially when you speak to men,
I think
you're like, you need to be a man, you need to be strong. You don't know what he's going through.
Exactly. Now I'm going to highlight something. When we were going for university games, I'm forgetting the year, but the edition in Gaoundere, I heard that someone was going the capacity.
2023 should be 2022.
23, yes, Gaoundere. I was there.
Yes. Now, the delegation from the University of Bamenda took someone in the capacity of psychological coach, and I was asking myself,
what's the
psychological coach? I always just know about the handball coach, football coach, and now they are highlighting. I think that's something equally great.
Yeah, very important.
In fact, in Cameroon, everything concerning psychology or what, so we always neglect that fact.
Yeah.
But we see that there is a very great need of psychologists in our country right now, because you're seeing all what is going through now. You are journalists, of course. I will not tell you what is going through. So what? So what is just saying?
It's true. An athlete can be good, but then some things, the guy is not good psychologically. Something. So now, going back to how you bring talents in to your club, how is that done? What are some of the criteria you use to bring in talents? Is it just any kind of person? Are there some things you look at? Because now I'm asking this because recall that we already established that our detection is not at a level it should be, and that's why I want to look at in your own club. You as a coach, how do you how better do you do detection in your club?
Thank you for that question. In the club, we have first of all, among the technical staff, we've established the different responsible for the training according to the age range of our athlete. So we'll have a coach specialized in the the training for the youngsters, pretty different from that you train the adults. So we have coaches for those different age range, coaches for the different events. Mr. Ken John for the throws, Mr. Kwame for the
so it's not
jumps.
Just the club is not just one discipline.
No, we have several disciplines. You can look for yourself on the technical result just from the recent ended national meets. You see that our athletes are doing great in the different areas of the athletics domain. So we have those different coaches, and what we do is that we have our young coaches or well experienced athletes doing youngsters competitions like the FENASCO, which is the best area, the best nursery where you can pick athletes. Yes, because if you can see mostly in the francophone areas that the way PE is, they lay emphasis on the PE. Athletics is at 80% what is being practiced during PE. So they have the sprints and the throws and the jumps.
Even in university games, I think.
Yes, and just like the other high competitions, jamboree or sport jamboree, you see that they lay emphasis on athletics. So we send them down the field. They want to you give them criteria on how they can see an athlete that's doing good in the distance. And most not doing the first. You may be looking at the winner, whereas the other one has abilities that can do better. So pick them all. They want to meet their parents because want to be deontology, want to respect, want to take the contact of their coaches, their parents, meet the parents, we take the parental consent. Then according to the training sport that we have Omnisport, we have University of Yaoundé 1, Gwegele, and we have SWA. And we are very flexible in our training timetable. So we train in the morning so that those that maybe want to go to their job site, they can train early and go. And in the afternoon, because they go to school. After school, they can join us in training.
You know the big question that someone always asks when it comes to, you wanted to say something?
Yes, if you permit me, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, give you the floor.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Chamake, I have a particular question concerning those athletes. For example, you mentioned the fact of Emmanuel Seme that you saw in 2017. And then from 2017 to, let me say, 2023 or 24, that the world knew about Emmanuel Seme. I have a question. My question is that how did he do to reach that level? Did you guys, when I talk about you, I talk about the whole body in charge of athleticism in the country. Did you guys really do a follow-up? Did you follow him? Because if they ask us now about Emmanuel Seme, I think about his career. I feel like we don't really have.
We can track his career.
Yes, we can't really track it, as you said, like for football, as we mentioned before. And then the second question is those kids that you detect during FENASCO and whatsoever. For example, if you have a kid if you have a child that's maybe from one place in the east region of our country, in a very far place in the east region,
northern part.
Yes, on the northern part, and your academy is based in Yaoundé, but you are interested on the potential of that of that child.
The guy is really talented.
Yeah, the guy is really talented. You need him, but he has to go back to his parent, to his own. He has to go back to where he's coming from.
I like that one.
How will you do now? How will you do to work with that particular child?
Thank you. This is a very technical question, and I appreciate it. Okay, speaking about Semi, I'm not his coach, but when Alex is doing great, you want to go through, find out what has been good in his career that you can copy, what are some of the mistakes and that you can avoid. Yeah. So I used to track. I actually saw that Semi went to they sent me some pictures about him, like he went to the FENASCO games just to join the team, but he was mostly a footballer.
Oh,
he used to be a goalkeeper.
Hey,
yeah.
Oh,
they're just learning.
Yeah. So this part of his history that I read and that I had to talk some summary with him. Yeah, and I want to appreciate his coaches that actually had the coaching eye to convince.
Somebody to live from football.
Don't know his track, like convincing hey, you need to leave that place and join us here. And I think that's my own opinion. That's what actually pulled Emmanuel was what he got from athletics.
Yeah.
So remuneration is one of the keys. If somebody doesn't see the motivation, it may not be money right now. It may be the outlet. But where's athletics bringing me? Some of the athletes may become PE teacher. I've never been an Olympic champion, but today I'm a great coach from Olympic champions. So you need to show those youngsters where athletics can lead them to, how it builds their bodies, convince the parents so that they can join actually. And the system in Cameroon, excuse me to describe it this way, it's as if you were struggling beneath the waters. Then when you emerge and they see your head and they come pick you. It's actually, you see the description of what I want to say?
Yeah, I see.
So you need to struggle by yourself, in quotes.
Like the head of the iceberg.
Thank you. That's actually what I was looking for. So when they pick you, they see you out of the water, they want to help you from there. So you need to struggle. But we don't want that. Because before they come to you, they say, oh yeah, we need to give him a scholarship. But what if you had not succeeded? How many people didn't succeed? Would have been, how many manual we'd have had? Now, to come to the second part of your question, which is very important because it requires a lot of money. Getting them from the background or the hinterlands and bringing it up. Well, we do at the extent of our means and work in collaboration with coaches and even collaborators in schools. From the beginning, the athletes, they may not require that kind of specific and high level workout so we need help them with this in terms of performance. Bring them here. I want to speak of the young Imbarima. He was second. He went to the senior Alexis championship. We brought him here one day. He's in our center. So those that can make it out of it, but would have loved to have almost all of them. And I want to mention here that we have the support of the Youth Academic and Sports Scholarship Program that actually help him with the scholarship before he had here. The story with him, what you say, that's why I like your question. Ibrahim, who is now on the national team, wouldn't have been here. Because when he won the FENASCO games, he was 15 years old, 14 I think, and he ran the 10.19. I mean, he has never been here. I think that was the world record of the U16 in Cameroon. I mean, the national record. So when he went back for financial means and everything, his uncle, his guardian had to send him back to his mom back then in Yaoundé. That's when we heard about, we called and we granted him a scholarship, bringing him back here in Yaoundé, and he's doing just great things now. Yeah. So that's what we do, and we help them get support from the ESR. We grant them a 175,000, I think, sufficient amount. Grant them a 175,000, I think, sufficient amount of money for a school year, and even a sport year, depending on the cost of living that we have. So, summary, that's in a summarized way, that's actually how we operate on the field.
Now, the question I want to ask you is definitely the question everybody asks. That's the question that every parent would equally ask, because when a child will go and say, Daddy, I want to be running like a semi, the father will ask the child, that can that thing put food on your table?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's one of the things And that is why it's kind of like a Christian club. That
is a Christian club.
It is a Christian club, which means that it takes into consideration the realities in our contemporary society. And that is one of the realities. Now, parents are concerned about the future of their parents. And that's why often would see some parents, some children, the ones who are stubborn, because I know a lot of them, I want to play football. Daddy will say that, can that thing put food on your table? I want to play football. Daddy will say that, can that thing put food on your table? You will not play any football. You will not play any football. And the child becomes heady and insists of playing football, maybe leaves the house and continues in that path. So the question to you now is, can athletics be a gloomy career, a career that can help? Be a gloomy career, a career that can help someone who decides that, oh, yeah, I want to be an athlete?
Yes, thank you, because it touches what actually can bring people to join athletics or driving them away, if I should say so. And I think what we do is diversifying them the opportunity they may have in joining athletics, because people, and that's what happened with every footballer, like you mentioned, because I want to take footballer because everything is sport in Cameroon is just football. So everybody wants to get the biggest contract they see on TV. They see Cameroonian having flying the jet, private jet, and you know. But we want to make the athlete understand that maybe you may not end being on the first place on the world podium or Olympic podium, but you may have some advantages that being there will have given you the same. That's why we help them not keeping other things around your life. Yeah, that can help you actually open your eyes, think about out of the box. Yeah.
Okay, I believe you have just limited time, so one more question for you before maybe I'll usher you out of the studio.
Yes.
I'm going back to the fastest man in Cameroon, Emmanuel Isimi. You think that there is hope that at least we are going to have a spot on the podium, knowing that he is there?
Yes, sure. He's doing a great progress. And qualifying directly, not having a white card or whatever. He qualified directly. And I just want to mention to you that 2 days back, another Cameroonian that qualified, that's Itunge, Emmanuel as well. Maybe the Emmanuel are qualifying. It's another Cameroonian. So we already have
qualified for the indoor
60 meters as well. Yeah. So I think this, and we'll have the Commonwealth Games where athletics is one of the disciplines that will be in Great Britain.
Thank you very much.
That will be in Great Britain.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chamake. I mean, it has been a joy to talk athletics. I mean, I was talking it all along with smiles. And, I believe Jonas too and everybody will enjoy. Thank you very much for making an appointment. We do hope that we'll have you again in subsequent editions of the program.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure being on set, and I appreciate what you're doing and giving us the opportunity to speak about what we do and what we loved, our beloved athletics. Yeah. And I promise, as much as I have the time to be on set, I will always respond positive.
Okay, we'll visit the dashboard, Salmon Isana, to transition to Ballon d'Or. We'll move from athletics, talk football, precisely the Ballon d'Or.
Satisfaction, personal satisfaction, because the season is not easy. I have effective who are not mature, no experience, but I talk with them and then I learn them my politics, my vision of football, and then they understand, and then in the field they give it back. So I'm happy.
Being promoted from Young Sport, PWG, and to play now in one of the best teams in town, Young Cotton Sport, shows that the guy has been proving excellence from one stage to the other, and he is the brain behind all the victories of his team. Did a lot for his team to have been Cameroon champion, but in the season this far, it's not the same. Bosco has been consistent and constant in his performance.
work of those boys, my new team, and we have an objective being placed this season is to win the cup, the champion of Cameroon, and why not the Cup of Cameroon.
To be true and candid, this award, she did not deserve it. She does not, because this season again she will be the revelation.
This season. Okay.
And that's why I will say, I will tell the girls that you see, it is very important to have a good communicator.
They should continue to celebrate excellence, because it's only through excellence that people can showcase their prowess, what they are made of. And celebrating Ballon d'Or is something that has been long in Cameroon, but today, this 10th edition of it shows that once excellence is celebrated, many more victories will come from Cameroon. And we hope that with the president of the federation and the minister of sport and physical education celebrating hand in hand sport excellence.
The problem is not the next year's Ballon d'Or, is when he will leave. Are we sure to have Ballon d'Ors again?
We are right back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, you are on to 88.4 FM, Royal FM, and the program you're listening to is Porter. From athletics, as you heard from that spot, we head into the Ballon d'Or. We just had the 2025 edition celebrated in Yaoundé. We had athletes who were celebrated for their excellence across the 2024-2025 sports or football season in Cameroon. Now, Jonas, the Ballon d'Or this year, the canopy, usually the umbrella of the Ballon d'Or, the main one is the best player. So it went to Serge Doura, Gazelle Football Club of Garoua. You think that's the most deserving guy? You think that that's the guy that deserved the award the most of all the guys who were nominated, finalists for the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, for me, with no doubt and with no fear, I say yes, he deserved it. In fact, I saw Serge Doura. I followed him all over the season last year, and for me, since like the 10th or before the 10th, I really saw something special
finishing top scorer and then top assist.
Yes, he was top at everything, best revelation and whatsoever. He was also revelation. We have to mention the fact.
3 awards.
Yes, I was also even waiting for him in David Pago's list, but.
Now that is something to
not the list that just came out now. I'm talking about the AFCON list.
Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about the AFCON list, not the one that
just
came out. Yes, another one. So for me, no doubt, and also for the women's Ballon d'Or, that young girl Tiwa is fresh. She has been she had a very great impact. Even
the last edition of the Ballon d'Or, she was the revelation of the season.
Yes, and then the next edition now she Ballon d'Or. You see that there is
top scorer.
Yes, he has been a
but now I have a problem. Is it necessarily always about the top goal scorer? Because if you want to trace it back, the Ballon d'Or winners, particularly in the males category, it always goes to, not always, last edition Chindo John Bosco was not the top goal scorer, but then he won the Ballon d'Or. But if Swaibu Maru, he was top scorer, got it. Emmanuel Mahop, top scorer, got it. Now we have Doura, top scorer. So is it the thing about being the top goal scorer?
The question is that you have to ask yourself, do you know the criteria in Cameroon of selecting Ballon d'Ors?
I don't think they've published it somewhere.
They have never been publishing. You don't even know who are those voting, but you know members of the jury and whatsoever. So talking about that, we just have to stay on the fact that we saw this one. I don't even want to say that because he was performing very well. I like Serge Doura, for example. Of course, he was good, but there were some quiet players that were also interesting that could also win the award. But I feel like for the Ballon d'Or, as you said, once you're a top goal scorer, you win the Ballon d'Or. Once you have a name, once you have a popular name, because Serge Doura was, in fact, it was
normally literally. You have the numbers.
Yes, literally on every social. Also, and then we just saw that since he's the one that the population already know, let us give the Ballon d'Or. I think for all the Ballon d'Ors that I've been observing these past years, I think it's in that direction that it has been happening. But now talking about the criteria, we don't know. So
Evans, the finalists for the Ballon d'Or, we had Fancy Conrad. A lot of people criticized him. He's of Pante. I think he had a tally of 5 goals in the league. We had former Adrian Boris, one of the most consistent strikers in Cameroon for like 3 seasons. He was amongst the top goal scorers, I think within the top 5 or top 3, should I say, last term. He did not finish top scorer. So it was 3 of them: Serge Dura, former Adrian Boris, Fansel Conrad, whose own was kind of like controversial. Now my problem, before even coming to check to get your own opinion whether or not Dura deserved it the most, is all these 3 guys were attacking players. That does it now mean that defensive players don't stand a chance, or better still goalkeepers? For instance, Idris Umfo-Finya, I think, kept a record in the Elite One Championship, the most clean sheets we've ever seen in a single season. Hamidou Hamza was one of the most gloomy defenders across the country. But now all these guys were kept aside for Conrad. Now they say yes, they are nominating people who had goals or that attackers, but Conrad, if it match up his numbers with former Andrian Bo and Serge Dura, it doesn't really match. So do you think that they are really not taking into consideration other players, midfielders and goalkeepers, defenders?
I won't really say that they don't take into consideration all those other positions, but rather it depends on their tally points, because we know that those that are voting, they have a particular word to say. It's true that we don't know who are those voting. We don't know.
Now this brings this. Sorry to cut you, but this brings me to my next question. Now, a publication during the press conference to the Ballon d'Or, I think that the organizers made mention of the fact that this year it is no longer going to be journalists, because I think in the past it used to be some journalists that they select will do it. Now this year they said there was going to be coaches and captains. Exactly. Now the problem is, on what basis do you think that these captains and coaches did their votes? Because as we all know, the championship is not as mediatized as other leagues. For instance, if you say in Europe, the voting is always done by captains, by selected journalists and all that. I think that they do it based on what they've watched. But now, here in our context, was it right to say captains, coaches?
I think bringing in that particular formality was to rather like try to organize, or should I put it in order, so that the counting can actually be very, very easy for the jury. But now, as you rightly said, it is not really the case, because we know that it's not mediatized. We know that we have issues when it comes to media of mediatizing our Elite 1 and 2 championship. So I will tell you that to me, I believe maybe there was some particular tally that were being given. I mean, there's a particular weight per nominee. If you take, for instance, someone like Serge Daura, everyone will know him, because he has been consistent ever since Gazelle had to move up from the Elite 2 championship level to the Elite 1 championship. Serge Daura's name has always been on that high lane. Now, talking about the others, from Boris and the others, I think it should be it should be on the case of the tally, and equally the knowability, because I won't really go for popularity, but knowability, in the sense whereby should maybe a coach has actually heard that you are this type of person that play very well. The captain maybe he has worked with you, he has equally assessed your moral, assessed your mindset, because all of those equally count when selecting a Ballon d'Or. It's not only about the talent, it's not only about the scoring ability, it's not only about the way you play on the pitch, but equally how do you cope with the other players, do you work for the team, and all. So I don't know much about the criteria for our Ballon d'Or, but I just feel like these are some of the things that were being taken into consideration by the coaches and the captains.
Now going now to the question of those 3 guys. For Adrian Boris, he has had the consistency for like 3 seasons, I think. Serge Dura, Fansel Conrad. So Dura for you was the guy?
Yes, I said it even before we could the Ballon d'Or was organized. I told you that I was predicting Serge Dura to actually take back home with the Ballon d'Or, and same for Tiwalis. Why? Because these are players that they did not only take revelation of the season, but equally backed home with a lot of talent. So they just needed more effort to be able to back home with the Ballon d'Or. So to me, I think it's but normal. Letting aside or keeping aside the fact that only strikers are mostly taking it, but it's but normal. We know even out of the country, even when we have to talk about the European Ballon d'Or, or should I say the France Football Ballon d'Or, you will see that the strikers are more ranked than the other categories. I mean, for a striker to figure, in the Ballon d'Or, he just needs to score many goals. But for a goalkeeper or a defender, he needs to really bring that extra performance, and that is what I think the goalkeeper, the other categories do not actually bring. I mean, the goalkeepers and the defenders do not provide. So it's but no matter, we should see strikers, maybe because they have been consistent, as you rightly said. They have equally been on the match days, fulfill the commitments of maybe the morale and or whatnot.
Jonas, in the past, Ballon d'Or winners, the trajectory of their careers have always been kind of similar. The Ballon d'Or, normally we know it has a primary value that it gives to the person who wins it, and that primary value is the visibility. It turns you into an overnight brand. It turns you into a national brand overnight. Swaibu Maro did it for him. He signed for one of the biggest clubs in Africa, Orlando Pirates, but then the trajectory, he was unable to get game time. Mahop, he won it. The trajectory of his career also went like that. Chindo, he went out for trials, it didn't work, came back. Kotong Sport, he has gone back, he's in Dubai. Now we are having this new guy. Before I even get to the question that I want to come, why do you think that the trajectory of those other Ballon d'Or winners, those previous Ballon d'Or winners, was similar?
I was just discussing something with a friend, and the friend told me, he answered in a very hilarious way. He told me that, observing what you've observed, he told me that if he was a player and he was nominated for the Ballon d'Or, he would have asked for his name to be removed. I've asked why. He said because it's like a kind of a curse. I said, why are you talking of a curse? He said, just as you mentioned, it's something very important that I didn't realize before that. He told me he's exactly started as you did. He said, Swaibu Maru
2022, I think.
Yes, 2022. He went to Orlando Pirates. He did not have a lot of time there. Now today he's already in Charlotte. You think about Emmanuel Mahop. Emmanuel, I think it should be somewhere.
He went somewhere in second division in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
He came back to Kotong Sport. He didn't stay. He went back somewhere.
The same thing happened to Chindo John Bosco. So now the question, the problem is now is at the level of our local championship. That's a very big answer to the question whether we should really call our local championship professional or something that's non-professional. Let us say like that. It means that if our best player, if the person we say this is the best player that we have, cannot perform well abroad, it means there's a great problem.
Now, very good. Now that you are talking about this, we are calling the person our best player because you give the person the award. It means that guy is the best player.
He's the best player, yes.
Meaning that he's the ambassador of our league. Now, don't you think that it is not necessarily because of our league? Probably it is because of the selection process. We probably select. Don't you think the criteria they have used to select does not lead us to selecting good? Because we have players from Cameroon who are doing well. Case in point, Leonard Atiba has been consistent. He has proven in Tanzania or Simba SC, USM Algiers, Chemalon Fondo as well.
Yeah.
Samuel Junior Koto. Those are guys who left this league. They are doing well out there. So don't you think probably it's the criteria, not necessarily the criteria we use to select our best, not necessarily that the league?
I don't even think that there's it has to do with criteria, because from now, for all the Ballon d'Ors that they have been nominating up to now, I don't have something to go against that. each year they say this one is a Ballon d'Or. I'm always like, okay, he's supposed to be the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
In fact, you saw the previous season. The guy was good. The guy was really good. And those guys you just mentioned, many of them are. It's like they always go out. They go out before really blooming here in Cameroon. For example, these are the defender that you just mentioned.
Che Malone
that you just mentioned. Che Malone was here. He was a very good player here. Added to that, he's a defender. For defenders to have those Ballon d'Ors, and also in every country that you go, for a defender to have
Ballon d'Or is difficult.
To have to have an individual award.
Even the France Ballon d'Or, they had Van Dijk and.
We even have Bockenbauer one year who won the Ballon d'Or. He's a former German player. So you see, for if you're not a striker, for you to have an individual award is very difficult. It's like it's even impossible. So I think most of them, they are going out like, okay, let me say this year they're trying to shine. They have good managers. They have good managers that can have good contracts for them abroad. That's how they go. That's how they go. For me, I would have also liked this year that we should have somebody like Adrien Boris Mfumu, who also had an excellent season
with AS Fortuna.
Yes, with AS Fortuna in Cameroon. But AS Fortuna was not in the same position in the championship with Gazelle FA of Garoua. Added to that, Serge Daura he has been the best scorer. Serge Daura. So there are many things. So coming back to your question, Mr. Brian. For me, it's not there's nothing about criteria. For me, it's about our championship. There's a problem. And first of all, what I want to say is that we should even remove that name Ballon d'Or because it's a very heavy name. Let us call it end of year season award. It will even be better like that. Let us just call it end of year season award. I prefer it to be like that because when you say Cameroonian Ballon d'Or, okay, this is the best player that we can have in Cameroon. And when the best player in Cameroon is going abroad, it does not perform well. When the best player we say is the best player in Cameroon, we have a list of local players that just came out days after nominating our Ballon d'Or, and his name is not there. There are a lot of questions to be asked. So that's what I can say concerning
Evans.
Yes.
Now, I would carry the same question to you. I don't know the views you share concerning this. Why do you think that those previous Ballon d'Or winners, their path followed a specific or a particular trajectory, almost like a script that their career paths are following?
Brian, first of all, you need to take note that I have always said it. Our championship is not a professional championship. That's one thing that we need to note. We are more of an amateur championship because if you look at it from the on-go, our championship has stopped producing those talents that we used to know, and many people rely now on some people rely on more of subsidies than even promoting the championship. So it goes further to downgrade our championship. Talking now about individual performance, as I had highlighted, once you are a championship like us, you are in a championship like us, you start thinking about evolving. It's really very tight, very, very difficult because what you need to do is that if you want to really succeed in our championship, either you are a striker or you are a very, very prolific, that means that type of prolific midfielder, and it's difficult to be able to win the Ballon d'Or. Now, one thing that will actually make us to note that why I think we can't really change the name Ballon d'Or. Why? Because it's something that we have been giving a long time ago. It's not something of today. The Ballon d'Or did not start today. And even the prominent players that we had, even in those days, some of them did not even make it out of the country. It's not the first time that we're hearing that. But now, the only issue now that we need to do is that we need that follow-up. If out of the country they are unable to perform, we are the ones to be able to spotlight them. How should we spotlight them? That means they are being called up into the national team, for instance. They are given enough time of play, because being called up and given time of play, there are two different things. You can be called up, you can have received the call up, but you are not given the time of the time to express yourself. But now, if you have that playing time, if you have that call up, frequent call ups, I believe those people out there will be able to see that no, this player, he has some potential, and they'll be able to equally adapt him. And we equally have the issue whereby when we nominate our Ballon d'Ors here, they move out there, the trainees, they first of all do a trial as it is per the case. But now some of these players, they don't perform well because the training way, or should I say the formation way, is there are two different things. The way they play football in Europe, I always say this, the way they play football in Europe or America or Saudi Arabia is different from the way it's been played in Africa. Those are two different things, unless that maybe like you have evolved in Northern Africa, for instance in Morocco, for instance in Egypt. Yeah, before you can say you are at least at a certain level, close as compared to the way it could be in Saudi Arabia, not in Europe, not even America. In Saudi Arabia or maybe America, for instance. Yes, North America to be precise. Yes, but now when one of the things that equally bring us down is that we don't have the necessary equipment. I mean, training equipment. It's true that there are innovations that are coming in, but it is not the same. The innovations that are coming in Africa now, it is what was there in Europe a long time ago, and they have stopped using it. They have brought in new training tools, and you see that it will be difficult for someone, first of all, that he's going to a place where it is his first time. He's leaving behind his family, he's leaving behind all his things, and maybe the climate too. That's one of the things that people, they forget. The climate conditions are different, so he needs more time to be able to adapt. That's why you see a player like, for instance, the case of Jerome Gom, for instance. When he left Cameroon the first time, he went to the United States of America. Due to coronavirus, even before the coronavirus pandemic, he did not really adapt to the climate. They brought him back here. Then he left again after evolving in Colombe and Stade. I think there was equal Renaissance. Then he moved again to Europe. You saw the way from there now he started picking up with the conditions. It's true that later on he was being transferred to China, but we are getting information that he's performing well in China. So just all this to make you to understand that the time to adapt with the climatic conditions are two different things. The heat we have here in Cameroon is not the same heat you have there in Europe, and that is how the training sessions too varies. The way they will be training here in Cameroon is not the way they will be training there. Like, for instance, here in Cameroon, we can say everything is based on physicality. You are stiffness because you are blacks, but over there is more of techniques. So you see, it varies. It's different. So that to make you to understand that it is very normal that some of these players that we call our best players in quotes go move out there and then they don't perform well because they are not giving sufficient room to be able to prove themselves. Because when you say trial is something like a matter of weeks, or it doesn't elapse a month. Those are trials. But whereas when you need to adapt to a particular climatic condition, you need more than a month to be able to adapt. So that's for my own understanding.
Jonas, the new Ballon d'Or, yeah.
But there's something I just want to let Evans know. Adding to what he just said, he was talking about climatic conditions, but that's not the first time. I think that those guys are not the first guys to leave Cameroon to go and play abroad. Definitely, yes. Many Cameroonians are leaving the country to go and play abroad, and they perform. You talk about adaptation and whatsoever. For me, someone like Maru Swaibu, it's already enough for him. It's enough for him to say that okay. At least he went to like for two countries and whatsoever. So normally by now he should he's supposed to be how can I like acquainted with the temperature.
Various, yeah.
Yes, with everything. We are also having these youngsters living for example Brazil and going. They are going out. They are young children. They are going out, and after all they are performing well there.
But it's different. We are talking about the first team here. That's one thing that you don't understand. These youngsters, when they move in, they leave from the academy and they don't go to the first team. They are moving where to the reserve. So they have enough time to be able to receive that observation. It's when now they perform well that they move to the first team. It's true that there are some players that they even move to the reserve. After the reserve, they are even sent back because they do not perform well. So it's just to make you to understand that it's not everyone that that is deemed to be able to succeed out of the country. There are others that they are good at home, but out there they are not.
But now,
due to the
would you advise a guy to stay here? Because most of these guys usually they are rushing out because they are
they are rushing out because they are seeking for greener pastures. That's one of the things that we need to understand too. But if we make our home conducive, I will take you in the 90s, in the 80s and in the 90s. I don't think we could count the number of Cameroonian, Ballon d'Ors or Cameroonian superstars that could even dare to move out. Why? Because we had a well-structured league. Why? Because we had that means the country was booming. Everything, I think we used to have more information that players left from elsewhere to come to Cameroon.
Yes, like George Weah.
Exactly. I was even moving over there. George Weah was a superstar in his country. But when he came to Cameroon, he had to start afresh from zero. And when he started from zero, that's when Tekase saw him, and then now they took him in, and then he started performing. Olympique de Marseille came, and then they took him over to France. So it just makes you understand that it is not everyone that is deemed to succeed out there. And that's the philosophy that we have always
So summarily, the structure of our league now is pushing these guys to look for greener pastures.
Exactly, the structure of our league is not the best.
Aside from they're not looking for better career, they're looking for greener pastures.
For greener pastures, I said greener pastures. And aside from even that, the structure of our league, the condition of our country too is another booster. Because even if the league is well structured, the condition of the country too can make it to move away. Why? When you have maybe like your house rent, you remember that you have your house rent that is maybe close to 50,000 per month. For instance,
have your mom in the house.
You have your mom that is disturbing you. You have another woman. All the stuff.
And there's also this thing that they will stop the championship. They will stop the championship. Like for example, they will have a break for like almost 8 months.
Exactly.
So come and play for 2 months.
Due to what? Due to political reasons.
Yes, 2 or 3 months.
It's not that they are not stopping the league. They're not stopping the league because they love it. They are stopping the league because there are other like bigger forces that are hindering them to be able to stop the league. For instance, we are supposed to play the Cameroon Cup when a long time ago. We had to wait that the presidential elections to come and pass before the Cameroon Cup was programmed. So all of this makes you understand that so far as all of this, our country is more of a kind of dependent towards the government. Our different sports federations, not only football. I'm talking about sports in general. So far as it's dependent to the government, we will keep on having such poor performance. To me,
we now have a new Ballon d'Or. I want to believe that the past is in the past. What do you think that this new guy can do in order not to have that same trajectory, the same trajectory that the other guys had in terms of his career path? The guy remain here and try to build himself, build consistency before moving out. Because definitely he has won, and I'm sure that is already projecting him out. I'm sure that one of the things that may slow the process down is because you want to look, majority of the transfer windows are closed now.
Yes, are closed.
The majority of transfer windows are closed now around the world.
Only free agents are permitted to move.
And so on. So, what career path plan are you suggesting for this guy to?
He can also resign and say he's a free agent. But the thing is that if I have to give him an advice, if I had the opportunity to give him, I would have said, Serge Dora, okay, you were the best player in Cameroon, but
remember he won some millions.
Yes, he won some millions, and which I hope he received. So that's another debate.
But the previous one said that they received. Why are we creating polemics over this?
No,
there's no need.
Not the previous one. Some are complaining. You see,
that one will say that.
We are coming to that.
Just go ahead and tell us what
another debate. That's another debate.
Yes, just go ahead and tell us what you think, how you think you should plan this career.
Yes, for me, he should stay here in Cameroon first of all.
Exactly.
He's the best player. He was the best player of our championship. But looking at what he did, I'm not sure he's ready to go and play abroad. Because that's the member.
And he's still very young.
He's still very young.
Now very young.
I even wanted to say that if there was even a better club than Gazelle, but I don't think, because you look at
Gazelle is the perfect club for him.
You look at Coton Sport and Colombe and Gazelle, all of them, they are almost at the same level. So if there was a better club here in Cameroon than Gazelle, you would advise that, okay, leave Gazelle and go to that club. But for me, since Gazelle now is seen to be the best for him at the moment, let him stay here in Cameroon. Let him calm down here in Cameroon. Because we know that most of them, when they are Ballon d'Ors, they use that title it's like they use a title to go and set themselves anywhere in just out of the country. So for me, that Daura, you should just wait and play a good football. But then when the time will come, he will just go, because all what we are having today complaining about players is that why is that when they have Ballon d'Ors, they don't disappear and whatsoever, is because of the way they have been hasting into those things. They have not. It's like Evan said, they are not ready, and we know he himself particularly is not ready.
Oh, Evans, now what of you? This guy, how do you think you should plan?
I agree to.
I not go the way.
Yes, I agree to what Jonas said, because let me still take the case of the 80s. If you look at the way Roger Milla had to leave Cameroon, he had to stay. I mean, he spent majority of his career in Cameroon. Before, when he was moving over to Paris Saint-Germain in France, he had he was towards his 30s, if I'm not mistaken. So all that to make you understand that once you are a good player, you perform well, and then you are awarded with the title of the Ballon d'Or, it's not necessary to make you to understand that you are already fit to move out of the country. You might move out there and then your career ends. We have had players like that we don't even know where they are. We have never heard about the whereabouts. Someone like Emmanuel Mahop. If you ask me where is Emmanuel Mahop, I will not tell you, because I don't know. At least Shoaib Maru, we heard of recent that he has moved over to the United States, but it doesn't assure us. We have not heard information whether he has playing time or not. So all that to make you understand that Serge Daura, he's very young. He is very talented. He has made a name for himself in Cameroon. He should continue building up his career. And one thing is that once you enter inside the national team too, and you perform, like for instance, like the Roger Millas, then now the attention to, for instance, if you move, let's say we move over to the World Cup, if God permits, we qualify for the subsequent World Cups or international competitions, and then now you move over there and you perform too well, you see that the attention now they will not be saying Serge Daura that plays, for instance, for Paris Saint-Germain, or maybe he plays for this. They will say he plays for a local club in Cameroon, and now the attention comes back into our country. Now people will try to know more about the club. Which club really formed this guy? For instance, in those days, as we earlier said, when Roger Milla was making name for himself, they were not saying Roger Milla of Paris Saint-Germain by then. They were saying Roger Milla of Canon. You see, so even when Abega was making a name, they were calling but our local football club. So all that to make you understand that the image of a Ballon d'Or must not necessarily mean that you are going to leave your country. Why is that in Europe, when a Ballon d'Or, a player wins the Ballon d'Or, he doesn't necessarily leave his club immediately, because they have understood that the term Ballon d'Or is, of course, it praises you, but it doesn't mean that you are fit for a different club, but rather to be able, that encouraging you to be able to perfectionize yourself, to be able to be the greatest player of all times. That is the word in fact that title, that's the title that many players they wish for. It's not even those titles, the Ballon d'Ors that many players they want. What they want is to be called or to be regarded as the greatest players of all time, the GOAT as they call it. Once you have that title, I believe you are already at the summit. Someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, he won't bother himself any longer winning the Ballon d'Or because he already has that title. Lionel Messi, that is his title.
But that's another world.
When I'm just bringing that allusion to make you understand that those players, even if they are nominated, even they are not nominated, those things they don't tell them anything anymore, because they have succeeded to professionalize their football. They have made a name for themselves in the sports discipline. Than if it's that they were really in a haste, for instance, let us take the case of, for instance, Cristiano Ronaldo. If it was in a haste, he wouldn't have played for instance, for Real Madrid for more than 4-5 years. Even when he was at Sporting, when he was still building up his career, he did not leave immediately. Despite that, he really had that fame with Sporting Lisbon. He had to stay. Before then, at one point in time, he left for Manchester United. If not, he would have left for Manchester United at the age of 15. Yes. because he was already in the history books of. I mean, he was already followed up by many big names. Same thing with Lionel Messi. In fact, all of those players, same thing for all of them. They would have made a name for themselves a long time ago, but they needed time to be able to practice, because moving over from one country to another is a different case. Living from Portugal, for instance, to Spain, to England. Those are two different worlds, two different climatic conditions, and they need time to be able to study, to be able to understand how it functions there. Moreover, there is what they call language learning. Nowadays, there are some people some clubs that lay emphasis on language.
But Evans, do you think that language is a very great barrier to
I'm not saying that language is a barrier. I am just saying that diplomatic issues. I am just saying that all of those things matters. Because aside from playing football, you'll be living in that country. How will you cope? How will you even maybe feed? I'm not refusing that some people, they have the money to maybe have translators, have people that can translate. But someone that is still building up his career will need to know the language, because he does not have one thing. His money is limited. The tax fee over there maybe is another thing. We are always forgetting the part of the tax fee. Because once you are a player from a different country that lives in that country, and you are not from that country, you are not nationalized, it becomes a different issue. You pay high taxes. So to be able to facilitate yourself, you need to learn to the language, and it helps you to be able to live in harmony with other people. It's not always that they will translate it, because one day someone can even dupe you and tell you that no, this person means this, whereas it's something else, and you fall into a trap. So all of those, I'm not saying that it is obligatory, but staying in Cameroon for Serge Daore, to me, is the best choice for now. He's still young.
It's not even a choice. It's what he's supposed. That is what he's supposed to do. It's nothing like best choice.
No, but I just believe that staying in Cameroon will permit him to learn from those that are equally there, his veteran brothers, and equally now when he has already gained that experience. And by the way, he was in Cairo of recent, and it did not function. He had to come back.
Yes.
So just to make you to understand that he has already had that experience of moving out. So staying in Cameroon will make him to actually professionalize, and then from there he can now move out now as a big player that has made a name for himself, and will not be any surprise for anyone for him he will not really move over there to be doing test matches, because they wouldn't know what he's worth. Because one of the things that equally makes that clubs to be testing players from Africa is that they are trying to evaluate their performance, whereas in Europe it's different. They don't. Once you already have a name for yourself, that's one thing people don't understand. Once you already have a name for yourself in football, they don't test you any longer. What they do is that you just come and you do medical checkup to see if your health condition is okay. From there, you train with the team. Once you train with the team, you sign the contract, and that's all. But why is that for Africa? There are always test matches.
Okay, I would want us to use the other few minutes we have. I guess those minutes are finished. But then, to highlight the sport out of Cameroon, we had the Copa del Rey semi-final fixtures that we staged yesterday. I just have word from Evans. I don't know. Was there any feasibility of that remontada? At one point, did you feel like it was going to be possible?
Of course. At one point. Of course, especially when
at the end of the day it wasn't possible.
Especially when you look at the third goal. I mean, see the minute that the third goal came at 71.
There was quite some time.
Exactly, enough time. So at one point in time, many people say,
but I don't know. Don't you feel like how could you be leading 5-4 on aggregate and then you go and you take in 3 in the second leg? Those projects here.
Atletico. Atletico Madrid. They are none of their tough defensive game. So even after scoring that goal, in my inside myself, in my intuition, I knew that Barcelona could not win that match. Removing the fact that I can never be Barcelona supporter.
Oh, okay. I think I understand now. I understand.
The thing is that when you play against them, you feel that there is a very great danger talking about. They have a very good football. But I know that Atletico Madrid. You saw the way they during that game. They just came to defend. They were just defending, and that's even why I think that's even why they even considered those 3 goals, because they were like they just want to wait the ball behind.
But you should really take note that when Barcelona or let me say we scored that goal, we scored that goal. No, let me put it clear. When we scored that goal, that second goal. Yes, well, no, it's just a last minute. When we scored that second goal, at one point in time, I saw players like Lookman, Griezmann, and all those people attacking. Even when Solot entered, I think Simeone understood that he had to score a goal, and then that's why he brought in big goals.
At the end of the day, Barcelona will not play that Copa del Rey final.
No problem. So far as Real Madrid is not there, there's no problem.
We are in the same shoe.
No, we are in the same shoe, but not really in the same shoe, because we at least still have chances of winning other ones.
Okay, guys. That is the end of the program. That is the end of today's edition of the program Sports. Special thanks goes to Salomon Isana for his expertise on the technical dashboard. On the cameras there, we had Brian Bida for various social media handles. Production assistance we got from Glory Gange. Editorial coaching came in from Abel Belasamari. Coordination we had from the station's manager, Roger Kiek, and then general supervision, the Reverend Pastor Bisai Emmanuel. My name is Biwa Brian, your host for the program Sports. I'm going out now, but then setting up the stage for Bertrand Boawa just joined me in the studio. He's going to present the program Jeunesse et Éducation. Good afternoon, Bertrand.
Bon après-midi à vous panel ce soir.
Donc, sans Kylian Mbappé, il n'y a pas de Real Madrid, c'est ça?
Bon, on a constaté quand même que le jeu du Real Madrid reposait sur Kylian Mbappé, et son absence ces derniers jours s'est fait ressentir.